Welcome to District Command Central, your go-to source for the latest news and updates on the Washington Commanders. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a play. The Washington Commanders find themselves in a precarious situation as they head into the final stretch of the offseason, with one glaring issue overshadowing what has otherwise been a promising build-up to the 2025 NFL season. Wide receiver Terry McLaurin, arguably the heart and soul of this offense, remains unsigned, and the clock is ticking louder with each passing day in August. While training camp has buzzed with optimism and intensity, McLaurin's contract situation continues to cast a long shadow over the team's preparation. He's not just any player. He's the leader in the wideout room, a captain, and the go-to guy in clutch moments. The Commanders can boast about their NFC Championship game appearance last year and talk up their aggressive off-season moves, but until McLaurin is locked in with a new deal, there's a cloud of uncertainty hanging above the franchise's Super Bowl ambitions. And it's only getting darker as time drags on. Let's not pretend this is just a minor speed bump. This is a full-blown potential detour off the road to contention. Gary Davenport from Bleacher Report nailed it when he called this an unresolved issue that could bleed into the regular season, and bleed it will if things don't change fast. McLaurin is technically present at camp, sure, but let's be honest, being on the PUP list with an ankle issue while contract negotiations linger feels less like coincidence and more like strategy. Whether that ankle injury is legit or just a smart way to avoid unnecessary risk without a new deal in place, the message is clear. McLaurin and his camp want clarity, security, and compensation. And who could blame him? He's approaching 30, he's been the one consistent weapon through years of quarterback turmoil, and he's outperformed every contract he's signed since entering the league. It's time for Washington to step up. The Commanders are playing a dangerous game by letting this saga drag out. Every day that goes by without a resolution is another day of potential tension building behind the scenes. You can't run a successful football operation with uncertainty hanging over one of your biggest stars. The front office may be weighing the long-term salary cap implications, but this team isn't built for the future anymore. They're built to win now. Their off-season moves scream all in, from bolstering the offensive line to retooling the defense with smart free agent signings and draft picks. So how does it make sense to leave your top wide receiver in limbo? If this were just about numbers, it would have been solved by now. This feels like a lack of urgency, a misread of the locker room dynamic, and potentially a fracture in trust between player and organization that could grow harder to fix with every passing week. What makes this even more frustrating for fans is how much McLaurin has given this franchise without ever making noise. He's been the model of professionalism, the guy who never complains publicly, even when catching passes from a carousel of quarterbacks that's ranged from rookies to journeymen. He's put up numbers, mentored younger players, and embraced the role of a leader in a market that's starving for football success. Washington's fan base knows a real one when they see one, and McLaurin is that guy. So why the delay? It sends a strange message, especially when lesser receivers around the league are getting paid top dollar. This isn't a matter of if McLaurin deserves it. It's a matter of when Washington will stop hesitating and show their commitment to him. The more they stall, the more it feels like they're underestimating his value. Not just in stats, but in spirit. And let's talk about that value because it goes far beyond box scores and highlight reels. McLaurin's presence on the field changes how defenses play this team. He stretches the field, commands double coverage, and makes life easier for every other offensive player, especially a young quarterback looking for stability and trust. In a number one target, you take him out of that lineup, and suddenly those windows get smaller, those blitzes come faster, and that playbook shrinks. He's the guy you need on 3rd and long, the one who comes down with the impossible catch, who moves the chains when it matters most. There's no stat for that kind of reliability, but you know who sees it. Coaches, teammates, opposing defensive coordinators, everyone except apparently the people in the front office who are letting this drag into a potential full-blown holdout scenario. Now imagine how this could spiral if not handled soon. We're talking potential locker room frustration, a distraction that media will latch onto every single week, and even the chance McLaurin decides to pull back further if talks stall completely. That ankle injury, it could linger. His reps and practice, they could be limited indefinitely. And when that happens, timing with the quarterback suffers. Chemistry breaks down. And what was supposed to be a fine-tuned, high-octane offense starts looking like it's stuck in preseason mode halfway into October. You simply cannot afford that when the NFC is loaded and every game matters. The margin for error in this league is razor thin. And letting your best offensive player operate under a cloud of contract uncertainty is asking for disaster. This needs to get resolved yesterday, not a week from now. The Commanders are on the cusp of something special, no doubt about it. Last year's deep playoff run wasn't a fluke. It was the result of a hungry, talented roster that believed in itself and in its leaders. McLaurin was one of those leaders. He set the tone, not just with his play, but with his attitude. Now, in what should be a celebration of their climb to contender status, the team is risking all that positive momentum over contract negotiations that should have been prioritized months ago. And it's not just about optics, it's about trust. The locker room sees this. They know who's earned what. When management drags their feet with a player like McLaurin, it creates ripples. Players notice, agents notice, fans notice. Everyone wonders if loyalty and performance actually matter. That's not the kind of reputation you want when building a culture of winning. Some might argue that paying a wide receiver entering his 30s top-tier money is a risky move. Fair point. But context matters. McLaurin isn't your typical 30-year-old. He's a late bloomer in terms of offensive system stability, and he's kept himself in peak condition throughout his career. He hasn't logged the same wear and tear as other receivers his age, and more importantly, his game has matured. He's smarter, more efficient, and still a deep threat on every snap. His route running is elite, and his hands as dependable as they come. This isn't just about keeping a fan favorite, it's about securing a foundational piece for a playoff team. Letting him walk, or even letting this situation drag out until the season starts, would be organizational malpractice. It sends the exact wrong message at the exact wrong time. Get the deal done and do it now. If the Commanders truly believe this is their year, then they can't afford to leave loose ends like this. Every great team has its share of stars, but the elite ones take care of their own. Look around the league. The franchises with sustainable success. Kansas City, San Francisco, Philadelphia, they reward their core guys, especially the ones who've been there through tough times. That's how you build loyalty. That's how you create buy-in. McLaurin has earned that deal, not just with production, but with resilience. He's been through multiple coaching staffs, countless quarterbacks, and still shows up ready to lead. He's not asking for a handout, he's asking for recognition. And frankly, it's embarrassing that Washington hasn't made that happen. Yeah, time is running out, and the pressure is mounting. Make the move, sign the man, and set your sights on the Lombardi. The end, this isn't just a business decision, it's a culture decision. How you treat your leaders reflects how serious you are about winning. The Commanders have worked hard to change the narrative around their franchise, to move past years of dysfunction and mediocrity. Letting the McLaurin situation fester undercuts all of that. It makes them look hesitant, indecisive, and unwilling to invest in their success. That's not who they've been trying to become. If you want to be seen as a legitimate Super Bowl contender, you have to act like one. That means eliminating distractions, reinforcing your pillars, and showing faith in the guys who helped bring you back to relevance. Terry McLaurin is one of those pillars. His contract shouldn't be a question, it should be a celebration. Lock him in, give him what he's earned, and let this team focus on what it was built to do. Win it all. If you're enjoying the coverage, make sure to smash that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts on the Commanders' latest moves. We want to hear from you. The NFL offseason is rarely short on surprises, and the latest buzz swirling through the league's rumor mill is centered around one name that's catching everyone off guard: Devin Lloyd. The Jacksonville Jaguars' young linebacker, known for his instinctive play and physical dominance, is reportedly on the move, and insiders suggest his destination could be none other than the nation's capital. Yes, the Washington Commanders, a team that's long been seeking to recapture its defensive identity, are being mentioned as serious contenders to land Lloyd's services. Sources close to both camps claim there have been internal discussions, and while no official confirmation has emerged yet, the signs are pointing to a defensive overhaul in Washington. Lloyd, who was seen as a foundational piece in Jacksonville, seems to be at a crossroads, and the Commanders could be seizing this moment to solidify a front seven that has struggled with consistency and injuries over the last few seasons. Devin. Lloyd's potential departure from Jacksonville may come as a shock to some, but it also feels like part of a bigger shakeup for both franchises. The Jaguars, flush with defensive talent and looking to address needs in the secondary and offensive line, may see Lloyd as a trade chip with significant value. Meanwhile, the Commanders have been working tirelessly behind the scenes to craft a defense that can stand toe-to-toe with the NFC's elite. Ron Rivera's squad has leaned on veterans and young talent alike, but none have fully filled the void left by previous stars. Enter Lloyd, a linebacker with range, strength, and an underrated ability to diagnose plays before they develop. His skill set is tailor-made for a team in search of a tone setter, a leader in the middle who can command attention and respect. While no paperwork has been filed and no jersey numbers changed hands, people in the know are treating this as more than just idle chatter. What makes this rumor even more tantalizing is the way Lloyd fits into the Commanders' broader defensive philosophy. Washington has long been a franchise defined by gritty blue-collar defense, dating back to the days of the Hogs and the glory years of Joe Gibbs. Though the names have changed and the schemes have evolved, the core identity remains, rooted in toughness and discipline. Lloyd embodies that spirit. His time in Jacksonville showcased not only his ability to disrupt offensive schemes, but also his leadership and calm under pressure. Washington's linebacker core has lacked that stabilizing force, someone who can anchor the middle and allow edge rushers like Montez Sweat and Jonathan Allen to operate with more freedom. Adding Lloyd would be a clear statement of intent. The Commanders are done rebuilding. They're ready to contend. And this move could mark the beginning of a new defensive era in DC, built on aggression, intelligence, and relentless pursuit. Another layer to this intriguing scenario is the rumored interest from Lloyd himself. Though players rarely speak on ongoing negotiations, a few cryptic social media posts have set fan forums ablaze. Lloyd recently liked a post featuring the Commanders' new black and burgundy uniforms, and he's followed several Washington players on Instagram over the past week. While that alone doesn't confirm anything, it does raise eyebrows. Athletes today are more connected than ever, and their digital footprints often offer glimpses into their true thoughts. Those close to Lloyd have described him as someone who's looking for a new challenge, a chance to lead, not just play. Jacksonville gave him a solid platform, but Washington could give him a spotlight. The opportunity to be the cornerstone of a reimagined front seven in one of the league's most passionate markets might be too good to pass up. This wouldn't just be a trade. It would be a declaration. The Commanders' front office, led by General Manager Adam Peters, is reportedly thrilled at the mere possibility. Though details remain scarce, it's believed Washington is exploring creative trade options, potentially offering draft capital or younger defensive players to balance the deal. Washington has quietly amassed several mid-round picks and possesses enough financial flexibility to absorb Lloyd's rookie contract without disrupting long-term plans. The team's new ownership, still eager to win over a skeptical fan base, sees Lloyd as both a strategic and symbolic addition. He's young, talented, and hungry. Bringing him into the fold sends a clear message: mediocrity is no longer acceptable. For a defense that ranked in the bottom third of the league last season in points allowed and third down conversions, this would be a move aimed at flipping the script. If the rumor becomes reality, Lloyd wouldn't just join the team. He might instantly become its most important defensive player. There's also the ripple effect to consider. Adding Lloyd to the Commanders' defense would instantly elevate the performances of those around him. Linebackers Jamin Davis and Cody Barton, both still trying to cement their roles, could benefit enormously from Lloyd's presence and experience. His ability to drop into coverage, rush the passer, and plug run gaps would free up teammates to focus on their strengths. Defensive coordinator Joe Witt Jr. would suddenly have a chess piece he's never had before, one versatile enough to disrupt offensive game plans across all 4 quarters. The dominoes could fall quickly. A more efficient linebacker group would ease pressure on the secondary, reduce the defense's time on the field, and create more turnover opportunities. This isn't just about one player. It's about transforming a unit from average to elite. The kind of move that doesn't just change a team's defense, but its entire season trajectory. Of course, not everyone is convinced. Skeptics argue that Lloyd is still a developing player, and that one good year in Jacksonville doesn't guarantee success in a new system. Others worry that the Commanders might overpay, sacrificing valuable draft picks for a player who hasn't yet proven himself to be elite over multiple seasons. But those criticisms, while valid, seem to underestimate Lloyd's upside and the Commanders' current position. This is a team desperate to compete in a crowded NFC East, where Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, and Daniel Jones all pose unique threats that require fast, adaptable linebackers. Lloyd brings that exact toolkit. He may not be a finished product, but he's shown enough flashes to suggest that under the right coaching and within a better built system, he could blossom into one of the league's top defensive talents. It's a gamble, no doubt, but when that could pay off big. From a cultural standpoint, Lloyd also fits the mold of the type of player Washington wants. Quietly confident, coachable, and intensely focused, he's earned praise not just for his play, but for his work ethic. Teammates describe him as a film room junkie, someone who's constantly analyzing his game and striving for improvement. In a locker room that's still finding his voice, he could emerge as a key figure, someone who leads more by example than by bravado. That's a trait that resonates with fans and coaches alike. If the Commanders do pull the trigger, they won't just be adding a linebacker. They'll be injecting the defense with a new level of professionalism and purpose. It's the kind of cultural shift that good teams make when they're ready to become great. It might not grab as many headlines as a blockbuster quarterback signing, but make no mistake, this could be the most important move Washington makes this entire offseason. Looking at the league's landscape, the timing for this kind of acquisition couldn't be more strategic. The Commanders are entering a pivotal year with a new coaching staff, a revamped offense, and a sense of urgency that hasn't been felt in DC for over a decade. Devin Lloyd, if this deal materializes, would step into a defense poised to make a statement. The NFC East is a war zone, and every team is looking for that competitive edge. Washington believes that a stronger, smarter front seven is the key to disrupting high-octane offenses and regaining playoff relevance. Lloyd may not be the flashiest name out there, but his arrival could represent a turning point. From a rumor whispered among insiders to a full-blown narrative playing out in real time. This potential trade has all the ingredients of a season-defining moment. One that fans, coaches, and players alike will remember as the beginning of a new chapter. At this point, all eyes are on the next move. Will Jacksonville actually let go of one of its brightest young stars? Will Washington push all its chips in for a linebacker who could reshape the defensive identity? Or is this just smoke with no fire? The kind of rumor that gets fans excited but never quite materializes. Only time will tell. But for now, the whispers are growing louder, the speculation more intense, and the sense of anticipation undeniable. Devin Lloyd to the Commanders might still be a what if, but it's one rooted in real possibility. And if it happens, it won't just be a roster move. It will be a statement, a signal that Washington is ready to reclaim its defensive legacy and build something special. Stay tuned, because this story might just be getting started. Thanks for tuning into District Command Central. Make sure to subscribe and follow us for all the Commanders news you need. Until next time, keep the faith and hail to the Commanders.